Hi, friends. This is your pal Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons and Critical Role and how Matthew Mercer, in my humble opinion, massively rewards bad, very bad player behavior. All right, we're talking about this today because of a video I watched about Aabria Iyengar. The reason why I watched this was I was in the proximity of Aabria Iyengar at PAX 2025. So I walked past her in the hall and I was like, "Whoa, that's Aabria Iyengar!" So I was within about 10 feet of her, and and I went. I just sat down, and I watched her talk with another person. And I did go up and introduce myself. And the reason why is I almost never do that. I really feel like I listen to celebrities. A lot of them are like, it's very difficult to have people coming up to you all the time, and so I take being in the proximity of a person very personally, and so it's very nice to be in the proximity of one of the most famous dungeon masters in the world, Aabria Iyengar. So, but so I listened to this video, and you can check out that video in the link below. I'll summarize it here. This video said, hey, recently in Critical Roles, near the end of Critical Roles, Bell's Hell Campaign 3, Aabria Iyengar showed some outrageously bad player behavior. Just like, oh, is the NPC hot? Oh, and then trying to steal focus from other players when it was not appropriate, and even trying to steal focus from other players when she had been warned multiple times in very clear ways by Matthew Mercer, hey, I need to focus this scene on a different person, not you, right? Also, I need the story to shift into a narrative progression rather than Chaos Goblin junk, right? Aabria, I already get that from every single one of these Critical Role players. I brought you in as a guest, and I need you to help me accomplish some things as a guest player, right? And she didn't do any of that. She really showed some very, very bad player behavior. Now, why? Why did Aabria Iyengar, one of the best dungeon masters in the world, why did she display really bad player behavior? Well, I'm gonna tell it to you right now. Here's my humble opinion on why. Because Matthew Mercer massively rewards bad behavior, bad player behavior. Let's take it off. First of all, Orion Akaba, right? Very bad player behavior, right? The other day, I was on right here on YouTube, and there was a Critical Role video, and I was like, oh, is this like a nostalgic old video? And so it was on Ashley Johnson's channel, and I hit play and I watched it. It was from like the very first. It was them playing at the beginning, and there's Orion Akaba in 2025 promoting Critical Role. Now, then I was like, what am I watching? And I looked at, the date of it. It was 10 years old. This video was 10 years old, right? But Ashley Johnson is using Orion Akaba today to promote Critical Role. You can watch that video right here on YouTube right now, right? There's Orion Akaba. They're all celebrating. They're all friends. Everything's honky-dory, right? Now, if Matthew Mercer didn't like bad player behavior, he would have said, hey, Ashley, why don't we clean that up? And you're like, wait a second, Scott. They don't just clean up everything where there's bad behavior. Oh, don't they? There was one dude, they cleared hundreds of videos. He had some bad behavior, right? Not bad player behavior, bad person behavior. They cleared hundreds of videos, right? Like that, like gone, right? Like Critical Role's got an interesting history, right? Like, yeah. So but they're still using Orion Akaba today to promote Critical Role, right? And he was supposedly, and he had some bad player behavior, right? But Matthew Mercer, if you go listen to Critical Role episode 1 right now, every single person who gets interested in Critical Role and starts at the beginning gets Orion Akaba, right? And they get a lot of him, right? Okay, he's right there. Matthew Mercer rewards him every day for his bad behavior. Sam Riegel, terrible player. Everything we talked about, completely inappropriate jokes, treating NPCs, objectifying NPCs, terrible accent, offensive accents, offensive everything. Like he just across the board, terrible terrible, bad player behavior, right? Far worse than Aabria ever showed, right? But he's been rewarded. He's literally been made a millionaire by Matthew Mercer, in my humble opinion, I'm sure. I'm confident Sam Riegel is a billionaire at this point, right? Like, of course, how would he be? Well, they take meetings with Jeff Bezos. Are you kidding me? Right? These guys are having meetings with the richest man in the world, right? One of the richest men in the world. Who knows? He's probably 1, 2, or 3. He's podium, right? All right. So highly rewarded. The other thing is, Matthew told her, "You're a guest. You're a guest. You're a guest, Aabria. I'm bringing you in as a guest player." What does that mean? Well, Abria's a very smart lady, right? She knows Matthew Mercer massively rewards bad player behavior, right? She knows this through Orion Akaba and through Sam Riegel, right? Who else? Okay. Actually, so what's the other one, right? Not bad player behavior, but they brought in Robbie Damon. Oh, you're a guest, right? You're a guest player. What's that mean? Hundreds of episodes, right? Like, oh, and you'll be a main star. You'll be a main player soon, right? If you could give me that extra, right? And Robbie Damon did. Robbie Damon was brought in as Bell's Hells as a guest player, right? But by the end, everybody was like, Robbie Damon ain't a guest. He's been here for hundreds of episodes, right? Like almost 100 episodes, right? Like, you can't call somebody a guest if they're the majority of the episodes, right? Or just so many they're hard to even count, right? So that's the issue, right? So basically, Aabria Iyengar realized, first of all, they're coming up on campaign 4, right? I gotta show bad player behavior. And I need to make sure that I turn from guest to main player, exactly like Robbie Damon, right? So she knows when Matthew Mercer says guest, he really means, if you could outshine every other player at my table, you'll be here for good. And she also knows that he absolutely powerfully rewards bad behavior. So I don't think Aabria Iyengar is a bad player. I think she understands that you need to shift on the Chaos Goblin gear, and you need to be offensive and disruptive, right? Because Matthew Mercer rewards it, right? And then when he says guest, he means this is really an audition to be a main player, which is what we exactly learned with Robbie Damon. So that's the reality of Matthew Mercer's Dungeons & Dragons. It means deliver the Chaos Goblin energy, show me a lot of bad behavior because it attracts views. And to this day, I believe without a doubt, Critical Role would not exist today without Orion Akaba. Would not exist. It would have ended within 6 months. He was the original Chaos Goblin. Everything you're seeing from these other players is bad copies of what he did, better than the original. And I think Aabria Iyengar is really honoring the legacy of Orion Akaba and the reward he got for bad behavior from Matthew Mercer. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. Absolutely nothing more, absolutely nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider subscribing and have a fetch millennium.